I'm originally from Puerto Rico. It's an island in the Caribbean next to Cuba and all that stuff. When I migrated to Chicago, it was 1983. Probably wasn't even born yet. But yeah, I was 13 and moved to Chicago. And these are the three things that I encountered the first summer because I landed in winter. The first time I ever see snow, all this stuff. And in the winter, you don't see nobody outside. But the summer, when it's hot, everybody was out. And for me, 1984 was the year that I got to experience American culture. And graffiti was big. And I was already a good artist drawing when I was a kid. So I got into graffiti right away. DJing was second. Like, there was dances in school sometimes. Like 2 hours after school, they would have a DJ there. The first time I encountered a DJ play, because I used to hear on the radio, and then I seen the guy mix, and I said, "Fuck, this is what I want to do." You know, like I was 10, 14, 15, and I said, "This is what I." When I see this guy do it, I ask him questions. Like everybody goes to the DJ and say, "Hey man, how do you do this and how do you do that?" And he was cool, and he wasn't like, "Oh, you know, get out of here, don't bother me." He would play, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, you know, you have to combine the one that you hear from here on one side to the one that's playing by the monitor." And I was like, so once I have this really quick idea, then I think that I start buying records, and I say, okay, one day I will have my own plates and I will play. Food, I can tell you, man, I mean, I've been cooking since probably I was 9. My mother say I was always in the kitchen. Maybe that's why I'm so big. But it's always been part of our culture too. Probably as Italian, when your grandmother or your mother cooks, you go and look and you pick and you say, "Hey, how do you do this? How do you do this?" So I start really early as well too. And now I combine all three of them, man, because I do barbecues in Ibiza and all places. I play music everywhere, and once in a while I still do graffiti in the street, like not the way I used to, but I said the last time I was maybe 4 years ago in Amsterdam. My favorite coffee shop had this one area that was all old graffiti. I said, "Hey man, you know, give me some money, I go buy some spray and I spray you a nice one here." And it happened, and it was really cool, man. Like it's all part of one for me. Culture was different in the Caribbean. I was in the beach. I didn't think about music. I heard music all my life, but I never think American culture. You only hear like, I mean, when I was in Puerto Rico, maybe the Beatles and Elvis was the American stuff, you know, and then all this stuff. But when I started paying attention to music was in Chicago, because when I went the first year, I don't speak English, man, so I had to like learn watching TV and also look in the radio. When I look in the radio, I found DJs already playing in the radio live. So I didn't understand how the music was so long, because I was used to one song 3 minutes, another song 3 minutes. No, this was like 1 hour. And when I was a kid listening, I was like, how is this possible that this one song is so long? You know, I didn't understand. And then later, I knew that there was different songs being put together. And then when I see this guy in school, then I was like, okay, I understand now. But my mission has always been to be a real DJ. A DJ that learned the old school way. A DJ that started with one deck that was in Techniques and another one that was a crappy turntable and then a shitty mixer. But that stuff never really mattered. What mattered was what was coming out musically and the accurate reaction to the people that were there for me in the beginning. House parties, street party, anywhere I can mix, I would go and mix, because I had this connection with it, right? So my mission has always been to keep it as real as that when I was a kid there, because I know that things like technology and everything that's happened in the last 20 years is good for our music and all that stuff as well. But there's a lack of real DJs. There's no real DJs anymore. If I give a good bag of my records to somebody and say, here, play with my vinyl right now, they don't know how to do this. You know what I mean? So my mission started as I just wanted to have fun, because for me, it was a hobby first. Like a hobby is like something you love to do all the time. Some people like video games, some people like stuff. I love to be mixing. You know what I mean? That was like my mission from the moment that I made that connection. So I got into that, and then from that, I was thinking in my head, okay, man, I can combine this beat with this beat and this bass line and make this track. So then I started thinking, okay, I'm becoming somewhat of a producer. You know what I mean? But it was all organic. There was no like marketing team and management team and money and investor and nightclub and none of that. It was just me, my equipment, and my mind to create. Yeah. So really, I've been lucky to have this career, but I seen the opportunity and I went for it because I know that I had the love for it. And that's some shit that I still have. I have still love to do my job. And my job is not to entertain like a clown or like a magician. My job is to play music and make a connection with that music and the people like when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So I hope that by me doing my job proper, I can teach other people to do that stuff. In the last almost 25 years, that's what I've been doing. I've been having fun because that's what I wanted to do it for in the first place. I never thought I was gonna become an international DJ. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna play records in Chicago and I'm gonna keep going to the States and whatever. But never thought that I would have 25 years now. Just like keep going, never sacrifice my sound, never care about what was trendy or famous. I just said, no, I'm Sneak. I'm gonna do Sneak, and I'm gonna stay to Sneak and sneak, and fuck everybody if they don't understand. They're gonna love this shit later, and it's happened, man. You know what I mean? So I hope to motivate people. That's my real mission, man. Now, after all this time, I realize that my mission now is to share the knowledge that I have as best I could by example, not by a video, not by people talking, but come see me play and you realize, holy shit, man, like this guy can actually fucking play. And I'm not bigging myself up, but that's the real shit, because now you go other places or other clubs, including Ibiza, and you see these guys and they're completely not mixing. It's all sync, it's all computer, it's all a big show with the lights and the explosion and the CO2, and there's no love, man. It's like robot. It's like a coin. You put a coin, you choose a track, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's what these new DJs are like. I hope that by sharing and by showing that you can have a lot of love for this shit. You know? Some people pay attention and grow. I always say, from the moment I start traveling international, wherever I went, put one little seed. Yeah? And the next time I come, that little seed was a little plant. And maybe that little plant became a little tree and be growing, and then to share other trees there. And then one day, there will be a whole forest of like people who love the music and who love the DJ skill, not the fame and the trend and none of that stuff, man. You know what I mean? That's been my mission. My mission is to maybe be a teacher, I guess. I don't know, man. It sounds weird, but if I wasn't a DJ, I would be a teacher. So I'm doing both, you know what I mean? That's my mission. My mission is to just keep it real and be like, yo, this is real DJing. This is music that you can enjoy. Forget that other EDM shit. Forget the stupid explosions. Forget whatever. Just feel, close your eyes and listen to the music for a minute and dance, you know? Like that's what brought us together a long time ago, man. You know what I mean? Like I do it all the time too. I sometimes go to see DJs. Hey, look, my favorite 3 DJs few from the States. 2 from Chicago, Derek Carter and Mark Farina, and Doc Martin from LA. These 3 guys have influenced my style because when I play, I can think like all 3 of them and say, hey, maybe this crowd is more like Derek, so I go more Derek mixed with Sneak. If I think it's more like Mark Farina, I think of Mark, I say, okay, Mark plays this track or Mark plays that. And then I channel them to me, you know what I mean? And then I play. You know, so these kind of DJs need to still be around. And they're also teachers. They're also out there. We still, after all these years, these names still come up because when people see them perform, it's a real performance. It's not like magic tricks. When I started DJ, man, I was a different kind of style DJ. I was more like what they call booty house DJ, kind of like Dance Mania. I don't know if you know this label, or just Chicago booty house. You know, work that motherfucker. Stupid, just ghetto tracks. That's what we call them, ghetto tracks. And that was from '86 to like 91. In 1991, one guy took me. He used to work at a record store I worked. And he was always like jeans, nice shirt, nice shoes, really slick. And he's like, man, I'm going out tonight to like underground party. And I'm like, pfft. And I knew nothing, you know what I mean? Like, I knew music, but I didn't know this stuff. So I said, hey man, one day I want to come with you, you know? I was his boss, you know? He's like, yeah, come on. Look, this Saturday, there's a party and there's all these DJs playing. They didn't say names, just said, it's gonna be a good party, this is the party you wanna be, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool, we finish work, we go home and smoke, da-da-da. We go to the party. Loft party, like a warehouse on top. And I experienced like 10 DJs this whole night. Everybody played 1 hour or 1 hour and a half. But the 2 DJs that made the most impact for me was Derek and Mark. Everybody else was great too. But everybody else also watched them too. Because they were like, man, it's like Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? They made the connection. You know, Mark grew up similar place where Derek grew up, and you know, Derek is he's just an amazing person, period, you know, but he influenced so many people in Chicago. This guy was like, the new style of Chicago was Derek Carter in the 90s, you know what I mean? And then everybody was like, whatever Derek record he played, everybody tried to buy this record, whatever, you know, similar style of playing particular records, you all listened to him. We bought his mixtapes and cassettes and listened to them because we wanted to hear what Derek was playing. And what if Derek was playing this record, then I said, oh yeah, I go in the store and look for this record. So, I mean, you know, very influential team, actually. And Mark has 2 sides, man. He has the down-tempo style, which is acid jazz style, or down-tempo acid jazz, trip-hop, hip-hop, whatever. He mixes it all together, classics, all that shit. And then he has the house side, which is also a combination of like really underground, funky house, a bit of jazz and a bit of hip-hop influence into his music. His style is very unique too, man. You know what I mean? These two guys were, I mean, they still are. They're still on top of my list, and I love them like brothers. I never had to ask them questions. I just watched, man. You know, I would go to the parties or whatever, and I smoke and I watch. And I say, oh man, wow. Oh wow, I wouldn't play this record. And after a while, we make friends, and you know, I made music, so I was giving my music to them, and it just became a very good, I don't know. It's like a dream come true. You're a guy that you look at so much. You're like, man, this guy here. I love this guy. I want to meet this guy one day, and maybe talk or whatever. But then they open the door and say, yeah, man. You know, they didn't say, hey, man, this is the way you mix. This is the records you need to buy. Nothing. It was the way they played and they shared that got me the way that I hope people get it from me too. You know, and I got it from them too. You know, and they're only like a couple of years older than me, so we're sort of in the same circle. I was really lucky to be part of a very good group of what they call the second generation. You know, there was a guy that was doing Casual Relief records, and then there was just DJs from Chicago that were good. They were just good DJs, and everybody went to see them because they were good DJs. They didn't have to have huge name. It's like you said today, right? Like you have your party and you have your resident, and your resident makes the party, and you guys make the party. Well, this is the same. They were doing it 20 years ago. My first advice that I can give people who are coming up is very simple, and it's gonna hurt a lot of people because everybody's doing it. Don't do cocaine. This is the worst drug in the world. It will kill your talent. Trust me, I've seen it. Many people. This is a bad drug. Stick to weed. It's more like, you know, help you think and make better tracks. Second, I guess, is just keep it real to yourself. Always keep it true to yourself. Like, even if people don't believe in you, you have to believe in yourself. And you have to make something. If you believe enough, you make enough noise, and then everybody else notices. And I guess, I don't know. Maybe just keep it real, man. Just be yourself, man. And that's what people, I think, appreciate the most about artists in general. When you can be yourself around a regular person or a normal person, you realize that that person is also just like you, and then you make an awesome connection. So, you know, keep it real, don't do drugs, believe in yourself. That's all I got for you, man.